Turn 1 Soul Ring.
So have you played any Magic lately?
No. The last time I think I actually played Magic was...
What we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's not...
Oh, I hopped on, I played a tiny bit of Arena. They have an event going on where you can play the Brawl decks that are coming
cool.
out.
Those look pretty good. I
So-
think they look cool. I was thinking about buying a case.
Oh.
Gav, just picking them up and, I don't know, playing them against each other, leave them in the box.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm kind of a leave it in the box kind of guy.
Okay.
So, the toys.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was interesting. The first night I played 3 rounds, and I went against the Knight deck every single time. And I was like, okay.
oh yeah, they're pushing those Knights hard.
And every single game, they had the 1-drop Knight and start equipping it, and I was like, let the draw.
Guess I'll die.
Yeah, light on the Magic.
Yeah, I haven't been out to play. I've definitely bought some cards, but I have been playing a lot of Hearthstone. And
cool.
I would play Magic Arena, but
Just not on
they
Mac.
won't let me.
Yeah.
So, but yes, Hearthstone, very healthy standard right now for anyone who.
Didn't they just have a new set?
Yeah,
Or is
the
it
new,
coming?
New set dropped in beginning of August,
Okay.
first week of August. So, and it's Egyptian themed, like Amonkhet or the Amonkhet block.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, it is. It's very cool, but we're not talking about that today. We are
We're not a Hearthstone podcast.
We're not a Hearthstone podcast.
We're a Magic podcast.
That's right, guys. You're listening to Turn 1 Soul Ring, the podcast where we talk about all things Magic the Gathering. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Eric.
And on the show today, we're going to be talking about Commander 2019 again, because we finally got a chance to play the decks straight out of the box without any changes.
Crack the box open, get the deck together, and just
Sleeve it up,
start
except Trevor.
slinging spells.
Do you think he's going to sleeve it?
I think he will.
Because he's going to use proxy, so he's going to have to.
Yeah.
Or it's just a little, it's like a Post-it on a card. It's like, that's marked.
That's marked, man. You can't do that.
But also, if you get an old card or a damaged card with all those new pristine Commander cards, that would also be a marked card.
Technically, yeah, because you can really see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That's the only time
see.
I've seen him not sleeve, so I think that's...
I think it would be kind of funny, though, if you did. The first time. It would be funny. Yeah, and they were, I think they were pretty good right out of the box. I really enjoyed them.
I have to say that our play experience this time around was a lot better than C19.
That was rough.
Yeah.
Those were long games.
Yeah.
That was a long game. That was a 3-hour plus
Over
game.
3 hours.
And I was eliminated 1.5 hours in. So you can imagine how I felt.
Oh, yeah.
And as part of us playing the decks out of the box, that was the beginning of our Commander League that we do every year. So we're also going to be talking about that and how the point system works and
Yeah, just a lot of stuff about that. So
yeah, all that good stuff. Magic news. The only piece of news that I have is I just wanted to give a shout out to the, and we're going to start doing this every month, but the contest winner of our August giveaway was MTG Dreams on Instagram. Very nice woman, I assume, based on the correspondence I had with her. And yeah, just had a nice conversation with her over Instagram. If you want to check out her page, her Instagram page, give her a follow, give her some likes, go right ahead. I'm sure she would appreciate it. And definitely check out our September giveaway, also found on Instagram. And you can find the details to enter that on Instagram.
cool.
We're pretty Instagram heavy podcast, guys, if you haven't already noticed.
Also, always, thanks for listening.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. And thank you all for participating in the giveaways. And we hope you continue to participate. And this month, we will actually have 2 winners. So you have double the chance of winning. And the same person can't win twice. But I think I mentioned that on the post.
Yeah, we're going to make sure. Don't
Yes.
worry. There will be 2 winners. Talking about throwing a little drain, did you see the trailer?
I did. It was great.
I loved it.
It was so fun.
Yeah. It was good and fun. It wasn't like a big heavy story like we had in War of the Spark. It was just like, here comes the fun. Garrick's back.
Yeah, just tearing stuff up. I like it a lot.
Yeah, the end with the gingerbread woman just
Yeah, I've seen
coming
some.
at Garrick.
I've
like-
seen some fun. I've seen some fun memes.
Yeah.
For those of you that saw Avengers Endgame, saw the meme with the gingerbread lady's head on Scarlet Witch's body saying, "You took everything from me," and then
man.
Garrick's head on Thanos' body saying, "I don't even know who you are." So
pretty
that's
good.
fun, among others. All right. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about today regarding our Commander League is our Chaos Draft. So, it's our annual Commander League, but this is only the second year that we've done it. Interesting thing, interesting to me, before our first league last year, I had never actually bought or played with a pre-constructed deck out of the box. I had built decks around commanders that were originally pre-con commanders, but just never did that. And you kind of had the opposite experience because Animar was your first deck, right?
No, actually, my very first deck was Mizzix of the Ismagus.
Oh, experience counter year.
Yeah, so that's when I first started playing Commander, and so just jumped into that.
That's a fun
that
deck.
one.
I thought about building. I've thought many a night of building a Mizzix deck.
I can't remember. It's been a while. I think I played it once out of the box, and then I tweaked it after. But Slinging Spells was fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, very potential to be extremely broken. But anyways, yes. So last year we did a regular Chaos Draft. Anything goes. Just no unsets.
Yeah.
And no Battle Bond because of the way it's supposed to be drafted.
Weird, but yeah. So Chaos Drafts, we all just brought 3 booster packs that are all different, and then you do a draft with those, which was first time I got to do that.
A lot of wheels. With 4 people.
Yeah. There's only 4 of us. But it's also interesting pulling cards from so many different sets because it's all over the place.
It is, yeah. But you can still make. Anyways, this year we decided to do a Masters Chaos Draft.
Just Masters sets.
So and Modern Horizons was also.
We let that come in.
Yeah, we
too.
let that slide. Because a lot of those packs have been floating around lately, as I'm sure you all know. And there was actually a lot of. Well, let's go through the packs that everyone brought because I think that's kind of fun.
Sure, yeah. So, just going down the list, I myself had 2 Ultimate Masters packs.
Yeah, we let that slide
I was
because it was
wanna,
Ultimate Masters.
Yeah, I was like, let me do this, please. And then I brought 1 of Modern Masters 2017.
Eric definitely had the best packs.
Yeah. Thanks to
and
Fusion,
the best pulls too.
Yeah, thanks to Fusion for having a great sale is why I still had some Ultimate Masters packs. I got at such a dirt cheap price. So,
and now they're like $30.
Yeah, now they're like, I think they're 25.
Really? I think they're like $29.99 now.
Oh. Because I know I did buy the Modern Masters 17 was $30.
Maybe that's what
anyways.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I was like, I'm doing it anyways. I get the 1 spicy pack.
Yeah, I'll get the foil Scalding Tarn.
Yeah.
Pack 1, pick 1. So Riley and I actually had the same packs. We had 1 Horizons, 1 Masters 25, and 1 Iconic Masters. So kind of humdrum. And Masters 25, I had never drafted before. It sucks.
Yeah. Like looking through the packs, every single time you see the 25 comes around to you, you're like...
I did get a Simian Spirit Guide, which is good. But other than that, it's a rough set. Let me tell you, it's not a good draft set. And then Trevor brought a 1 Horizons pack and 2 Masters 25 packs, and we let that slide because Eric already did the 2 UMA. So we just
like you can do 2 if you want. Yeah, whatever. So we do have less like sets to choose from as well, and like they are
of course
pricier because it's all Masters.
Yeah, I think something that could be fun to do is we do like. The way like draft used to work, where we do like a block draft.
Yeah.
Next year, like we could take like a block and each get a pack from each one of those blocks. It's less chaotic, but that could be
still
kind of
something
fun.
different
It's still,
and fun.
Yeah, it still could be pretty chaotic. I think.
Yeah. I do have to say for like drafting so many different master sets, because then inside the master set, there's so many different things going on, and then even Modern Horizons, for example,
so many mechanics,
44 mechanics in that set alone. And you're throwing other master sets in there. There was a lot of stuff going on.
There was. I certainly wasn't I certainly wasn't thrilled with my end product. I feel like the cards overall weren't great, but there's a lot of M25, so maybe that's what happened there.
I don't think. Your board was very annoying because you have so many persist creatures, and then you just outvalue the opponent. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
All right, well,
Do you want to talk about the rounds or the
let's do the standings.
Sure, yeah. So first round, it was Riley and Trevor versing, and then me and Kevin versus well. It looks like Riley
2-0'd.
Trevor. Yeah.
And you and I 2-1.
Yeah.
For me.
For me.
Right? No, for you. Yeah,
me.
you
I
won.
got
That's
2
right.
wins.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to play the next round.
Yeah. But that's what I was saying. Like, your persist creatures, as that one game, I just couldn't do anything. And I was like, well, just get run over here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I had some theft effects. What are
Oh,
those
yeah.
called? Like an active treason.
Yes.
There's a name for that. Threaten effects.
There
That's
you
what
go.
they're called. Yeah. And then I conceded the next round. I was just having an off day. I just wasn't feeling it that day. So that's why I did that. Normally
So you just
I'll play through. No, I took the
last place.
took
You're like,
last
whatever
place.
deck I get. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it was the deck I wanted, so
It worked out.
it worked out well.
Yeah.
And
then me and Riley had a round, and Riley got me 2-0 as well.
well, didn't he have like 12 removal spells in his deck?
Yeah, he had like 5 or 6 creatures, and the rest of it was removal. He was like bouncing and removing things. It was a good deck.
Yeah, it was. It was a good deck. So let's talk a little bit about the sort of value or spicy pulls.
Yeah, just like value cards, or then like interesting cards that kind of like went towards the deck strategy.
Yeah. So what did you?
Yeah,
what
let's
were
just
some
go
of your
down the list.
pulls?
So, the value stuff that I ended up getting was I got a Vexing Devil, which is around like $6 or $7 Canadian right now. Then I did get an Engineered Explosives, which is a great modern sideboard card.
Oh yeah, very good.
Yeah, because it has Sunburst, so however many colors you spend to cast it, that's the counters on it, and then you can crack it, and anything with CMC equal to that is destroyed. So
Yeah.
it's pretty sweet.
It's very good.
And then the best one was I did get a Damnation
Very
from
nice.
17.
Yes.
So
That's a good one.
that was a good one. Didn't have a Damnation yet either, so
That is a great commander card.
all worked out. And then I, with my deck, I had a couple changelings, and so I also drafted a couple dragons, and I had the Dragon Tempest enchantment. So whenever a dragon enters the battlefield, I get to deal damage equal to how many dragons I have to any target. So it was a very weird synergy.
Yeah, but it worked, and you also had that sliver, and that worked well with the changelings because it gave them +2 attack.
+2/+0, yeah. And the changelings were the unblockable ones.
Yeah, so that was effective. That was effective. So I didn't get as good of a value, but I did pull a Buried Alive, which I graciously gave to Riley.
Yeah.
Humble brag.
And you got that foil Simeon.
I did get that foil Simeon, which I already said, which is like a pricey card. I put that into my Narset deck.
I didn't know the price was so high, actually.
Yeah, I don't. I guess because it's where is it? Is it modern? Is it played in modern?
It does see play in modern, and it's like it's free mana, so
Oh yeah, it's definitely free mana. I got Anger, which isn't really a valuable card, but it's just a really good commander card.
I love Anger.
And you can just give all your creatures haste for not a huge downside. I did pull a Nurturing Peatland.
that's like almost a $20.
That's
land.
a good one, and a Twilight Mire, which was and I pulled those when I was already in like a Golgari color, so that was kind of nice.
On color lands, yeah.
And a Stang, which is just like that's the best card ever, right? Why did they knock that down to uncommon?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, there's like OG legends. They're all so good and efficient.
Moving on to Riley.
Riley boy.
So versing him, he definitely had a couple morph creatures, and his deck was very control heavy.
It was like a Ghost of Things to Come, right?
Yeah. So it was a Grove of the Burn Willows, which is a decent land. He also got a Waterlog Grove, so looks like those both your guys' Horizons packs paid off.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice land. Yeah. And then the big one was the Acroma, Angel of Fury.
Yeah, super cheap card financially.
Yeah.
But
in a draft format.
In limited, that's a bomb.
That was the bomb card.
Yeah,
so
very cool card. And he also pulled a Pernicious Deeds.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which it's creeping back up there since it got printed in, I don't know, was it printed in Eternal Masters? It was printed in some. It was obviously printed in some. It wasn't Eternal Masters because no one got those packs. But
yeah, I don't remember what that
was
one
printed
was
in something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys are like screaming at us right now.
Yes.
Like some of you. Let's move on to Trevor's pool. I think the only thing we have down here that's noteworthy is the Miss Meadow Witch.
Yeah, so he had like a blink heavy deck. He had like what's that? 5
Of course
drop?
he did.
Yeah, 5 drop. You draw 2 cards, gain 2 life. Cloud.
Oh, Cloud Blazer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cloud Blazer. Yeah.
And like
Yeah. So stuff like that.
Yeah, Miss Meadow Witch is a super cool card. You can
I love Miss Meadow Witch.
2 in Azorius, exile target creature, remove that card, return that card to the battlefield until under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So you can really use it to mess with the board, save your creatures, save opponents' creatures,
All that kind of stuff. So
get your Gilded Drake back.
Sure.
That's a really good synergy.
Nice.
That card's like $65 now.
Really?
Yeah, I checked the other day. Yeah, I'm glad I bought them and they were like 20. Oh my god.
You can also do that with the Perplexing Chimera.
Oh yeah, you get your I love that card.
I like that card.
That is a great underplayed card.
Yeah, it's so fun in Commander.
Yeah, that's great. People just don't want to do anything. I wish I had blue in my deck so I could like get you guys with that.
Actually, maybe I'll just add that.
I think you should. I think you and Riley both should, just for fun.
Yeah. All right, so moving on.
Yeah, let's talk about the sort of the strategies of the decks that we built and that we drafted.
Yeah.
So what were you trying to do?
Kind of on top of what I had said before, but the base thing is that I was going like red black aggro,
Right.
with the deck, and then Dragon Tempest.
Yeah.
Using that with the changelings and the dragons to kind of get through damage.
Yeah. Or use it as removal because the Dragon Tempest can target. It's any target?
It is any target. I didn't get to do the whole cool dragons and Dragon Tempest thing out. I got to do it once and I dealt 1 damage.
Yes. Nice. Yeah.
But the changelings were unblockable. And I was surprised because then there was also a goblin that I had was a 0/1 with haste and exalted.
Yeah.
But combined with the unblockable changelings, just kept getting through damage turn per turn.
Yeah. No, I know what that's like.
Yeah, got there. And then I had that guy on top of the sliver that gives them +2/+0 with those changelings that are unblockable. Lots of unblockable damage. And then the if things got too out of hand, I did pull that Damnation. So.
You did? I did get to see that cast.
Yeah, I did get to cast the Damnation.
That was good. Well, my deck was kind of trash. I was doing kind of an aggro thing, but it was also kind of grindy because I drafted a bunch of persist creatures, and then I drafted like a Curse of Predation late into the draft. So I'm like, okay, well then I can cancel the -1 counters, and then
it was a really good combo.
Just keep them on board. And that was kind of the way the deck worked. I had some removal. I had a few threaten effects, but even at pack 3, I'm like, can I change colors still? Because I don't think this is going to work out well. But what are you going to do?
It was our game 2 that you had the enchantment out, and like I just couldn't do anything about that.
Yeah,
it's just like game over.
Yeah, and I didn't get to play against Riley, but he had like what was he doing again?
So he said he was blue-red, and then he splashed green. So I don't know. He noticed he didn't have that much green in there.
I don't know if you noticed.
I thought he was teamer, but okay. But yeah, he had a lot of card draw, just like incidental card advantage. And then, like we said before, he had tons of removal. And then he had for part of the card draw, he had the Prism artifacts. So when it enters the battlefield, you just draw a card, and then you can like tap it for any color mana.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, prismatic.
Maybe prismatic prism. I don't know. I don't know why I said it like that. It's like question mark.
And then he had the brine morph. So when you morph that creature and turns face up, your opponent doesn't get an untap step. I got that done to me. That's just rough.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I'll get you.
He was like, morph, you don't get an untap step. I'm like, well, good game.
Guess I'll die.
Yeah. That was that.
Yeah, and Trevor, neither of us got to play against Trevor. I guess I should have.
You could have.
You were right.
but-
I could have.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had he was doing like a blink value thing, the Mistmeadow Witch that we kind of touched on with the Cloud Blazer and a Nyx Fleece Ram.
He had an Nyx round.
Is that at the beginning of your upkeep? You gain 1 life.
Yeah.
Okay, is it just like a 1-mana 1/1
I think
enchantment creature?
I think it's a 0/4.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's got a big butt, so
Yeah, it is. It's a hoofed animal.
Yeah,
so they usually
so-
do.
don't get behind.
Yeah, so those were the strategies. Not terrible. Some of them were not terribly exciting. I know. I was there. But let's move on. And
There's still fun to be had.
yeah, we did have fun for sure. Let's move on and talk about the Commander 2019 decks and our experience with them right out of the box. At least Eric and my experience with them.
Yeah, we can just kind of say some other turns for what the other decks were, but of course, since we played these two certain decks, we
Oh yeah, and
we should say who picked what decks.
right, because the way that our prizing structure works is, so we've got the 4 decks, and the player who comes in first gets to choose from the 4 first, and second place gets to choose from the 3 that are left. Essentially, 4th place doesn't get a choice.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a choice. I was really surprised. So Riley chose the Morph deck.
The Morph deck, yeah.
You chose the
Went with the Mystic Intellect.
Flashback deck.
I felt like slinging spells again, so
Yeah, you got to go with what you feel.
yeah.
And I had said I really like playing with green in my deck.
Yep.
I love that land-based mana ramp. And so I wanted the token deck because I also felt like it was the best deck kind of out of the gate with the other 4 decks. Like as the league progresses, there's how many board wipes we like to play with.
Oh, yeah.
So even I'll play with board wipes that just don't affect my board. So I'm gonna feel the pain then, but right now it's fine and fun. And Trevor chose the Madness deck, which I'm not surprised that he chose it based on his play style.
Yeah.
But I think the deck has a lot of early game ability, but its ability to finish a game, I think, is quite weak. So if it was me, I would try to do more of a reanimator thing or kind of like a combo thing. Like those colors do lend to a combo win.
They do, yeah. And I think that deck did have some pretty scary creatures right out of the box. He did get that flyer out there.
Yeah, that new one, that
It's
new
like
one with Madness.
Yeah, it's like a Phyrexian Obliterator.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just talk about the Gira deck a little bit. So I had a slow start, but I don't think the deck necessarily has a slow start. I just kept not an ideal hand, and I was stuck on lands.
Yeah, you got
for a
mana
while.
screwed.
But you guys all left me alone. You guys were like, "Oh, he's got problems. We're just going to leave him alone."
He's got his own problems.
So that was nice.
Yeah, it started off with I had the earliest creature, so I just swung at Trevor, and then he felt bad for that. So then we were kind of battling.
You guys were kind of battling it out.
Yeah.
And then
you were left alone, and
Riley was just making morphs. Riley's living that morph life.
Yeah.
and then Trevor board wiped, and I was kind of had a board going, and so I wanted to get him for the board wipe. So we were kind of both trying to get him.
Yeah.
But anyways, rightly or wrongly. But once I did get more mana, the deck really did start to get going and hum, and I was making tokens and having a good time. And I actually didn't cast Geared till quite late in the game. Like you had all cast your commanders a couple of times by that point, and Geared was still just waiting in the command zone.
Yeah. Remember when he first died, and you're like, "All right, cast him again for this." I was like, "Whoa, you died once?" I was like, "Yeah."
But I did cast Atla Palani Nest Tender. That was, I think, the first creature I did cast. And those egg tokens are serious business, let me tell you. Because there's, I think, 2 board wipes in the game that we played. And both times I had at least 1 egg token on the board. And the first time I got a giant Ataphage off of the egg token. If you don't know what that is, it's 5 and 2 green for a 7/7 insect with trample. And whenever giant Ataphage deals combat damage to a player, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of giant Ataphage. So that's pretty good when you only have 4 lands on the battlefield, which is the situation that I was in.
7-drop with 4 lands.
Yeah, so I just started swinging with it, and I got quite a few Ataphages off of that. And then there was another board wipe, and I lost all the Ataphages. So such is life.
I'll definitely detail that play later because I really liked what happened around that time. So.
Yeah, and also I think Atla Palani would be a really fun commander to play with and just give you a lot of value, especially when there is a board wipe, which happens so often, at least in our meta. And we can, as part of our rules for our Commander League, we can switch and use any lieutenant commander that came in the deck at any time. So if I wanted to do like a Tongrath thing, I could. Or if you wanted to do Gerard, right? That's a 2-color one. Gerard Weatherlight Hero.
Oh, yeah.
You could do that.
Boros one.
Yeah, so it doesn't just have to be in the colors, but it would be a little more difficult if it's not with the way that we
and like
can upgrade our decks.
And also at the first match we did let anybody, like, you didn't have to play with the commander out of the box. There were the 3 you got to choose from. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we all played with our.
We did. I think we were all surprised. At least Riley and I were surprised that you chose to play with Savine as opposed to Elsha, yeah. But we'll see what happens. One card that really stood out and was I think an overperformer, and I didn't really expect this in my deck, was the Idol of Oblivion. That's the 2 mana artifact that draw a card, activate this ability only if you've created a token this turn, and then the second ability is pay 8, tap, sacrifice Idol of Oblivion, create a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token, which I did end up using. So I sort of had to eat my hat because I said, why would you ever use that? But I used it.
Late game, it was getting dicey. It was a good play.
I had to push that damage through. If I had 1 more mana, I could have cast that. It's that 4 mana. It's like a Matacore, and it has Embalm or something. And when it comes into play, you can deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Like maybe it's been errated to any target. But if I had 1 more mana, I could have done that and dealt you the 3 damage, and then swung for 10. And I think I could have got you. But again,
close.
It was a close game.
It was good.
But yeah, what was your experience, Eric, with your deck right out of the box?
As we did say, I did go with Savine, just for the value. Yeah. And I thought right out of the box, like Elsha's really cool, but Savine, like that's what the deck is built around, getting like the flashback card. So I was like, you know what, I'm playing this card. This is what it's supposed to do.
Until someone drops a Rest in Peace, and then you're going to switch to Elsha.
Yeah. It'll happen at some point, probably.
Oh yeah, I'm in white.
All right then.
Well, there's 2 graveyard decks. I have to.
I'll just keep counter spells up all the time. But it ended up being really fun. I forgot some of the cards that were in the deck, and being able to the value you get from the first spell you being cast from a graveyard doubling is sometimes huge.
Oh yeah.
The first one I really did was I got to draw 4 cards off of Chemister's Insight right on my graveyard, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah, you came back from 2 board wipes quite quickly and quite strong.
Yeah.
With your ability to copy spells.
And I even cast my commander, I think, 4 times that game. Because I cast my commander real early, and then Trevor ended up removing it.
You ended up casting him for 11, I think, and it's a 5.
It's a 5 drop. So 7,
yeah,
9, 11. Yeah. 5, 7, 9, 11. So 4 times. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of mana.
It's a lot of mana.
That's another thing. The decks all, I mean, apart from my experience, and again, once I got going, I caught up with lands relatively quickly, but like no one was hurting for lands. Like Trevor's in a Rakdos deck, and he didn't miss a land drop the entire game.
Yeah, actually. And even though for hitting most of my land drops, I was this deck is very mana hungry. For one, in the flashback costs and stuff like that. That is the other thing that I was like, it really is mana hungry. I want more mana.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But we'll get. I guess we'll get into plays a little bit later. Some of the interesting cards that I kind of want to talk about. Clever Impersonators in the deck that definitely performed.
Love Clever Impersonator.
Yeah,
so good.
When Kevin got his giant Adaphage, my turn came up next, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna copy that."
Yeah. Yeah, and you ended up getting the token achievements. As we have achievements as part of our league, and Eric ended up getting the token achievements that I chose to play with in this particular game because I'm a token deck.
Yeah,
but
I totally didn't even notice some of the cards that I had in my deck, right? So, speaking of tokens, Increasing Devotion was in my deck, which is create 5 1/1 white human creature tokens. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, create 10 of those tokens instead.
And you can copy it with Savine. So
yeah,
you created 20.
Yeah, so on the turn I cast this from my graveyard, I got 20 tokens on the battlefield, which is crazy value.
and then Riley board wiped on the next turn, so you didn't get to use them.
No. Faithless Looting's in the deck. Really good. Again, I got to use that one. Putting cards in the graveyard I wanted and stuff like that. And then the other probably All-Star, and then I'll talk about this really cool play that happened. Increasing Vengeance. So it's 2 red to copy target instant sorcery spell that you control. If the spell was cast from a graveyard, copy that spell twice.
Yeah.
And you can choose target copies. So
that's right. And I played Second Harvest to copy my Adaphage. We both had a couple of rounds with like Adaphages swinging at people.
So yeah, so kind of how it played out was that like me and Kevin were getting a little bit scary because we kept swinging with Adaphages.
It was fun.
It was pretty fun.
It was good.
So we had a few tokens there, and Riley was just sitting there being like, we got to do something about this, but he didn't want to block them, and Trevor was. And then so on my turn, I created 21 ones with Savine and the spell. And then Kevin, as you said, did Second Harvest, and I was like, well, I'm going to copy that and duplicate all my tokens as well.
Yeah.
So on top of the couple Adaphages I had 40 1/1 humans.
Yeah.
And then on Trevor's turn, that's when Riley flipped up his board wipe morph.
Yeah.
Which did not see that coming.
No,
that was and I was like, everything got what, like -12, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah, for once Riley was stopping us from going off.
Yeah.
Usually we're trying to stop him. Yeah. So.
But he had to deal with the board. And I was like, Riley, I didn't get to attack with my creatures. Come on.
Yeah, just give me like one go around.
One go around, yeah.
Like you're a reasonable man. He could have offered you a deal, you know?
But nope. Just had to get rid of everything right away. And then later on, a couple turns went by, and then because I had Savine out, Devil's Play is another card with flashback. So it's X and red to deal X damage to any target. The flashback is X and 3 red. So I cast that for 12, and I killed both Riley and Trevor at the same time with the one spell.
Mm-hmm. And the game was like it was a very interactive game.
Yeah.
Our life totals were all low, like in the teens. Like we were all chipping at each other throughout the game. And like that, I was really surprised by that, I think because of our experience last year with the decks. So, you know, we're all just hitting each other and our life totals are going down. And it's just like, that's usually not the experience that you have with Commander, right? Like usually there's not a lot of attacking. I think in our meta, we do attack more if it's just like, yeah, just turn it sideways. They're open. Right?
Yeah. And I think that's always like, I do like doing that because then there's more happening.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I don't care for the rolling the dice, though.
No, me neither. That's why, like, I had the first creature out. I actually got to cast. Oh yeah, I didn't say this. I cast Elsha on turn 3, which is
That's
a 5
right.
mana
Yeah,
creature.
because you turn one Soul Ring.
I saved it because we
Right,
had a
you
special
didn't turn
negative
one Soul
thing.
Ring. That's right, because if you do play Soul Ring on turn 1,
We get minus points.
You lose points. But in real life,
that's
you
a
don't,
non-vote
so.
for our podcast.
Yes.
But you know,
God.
Riley. But I had the Soul Ring out there with the bounce land and stuff, and I just had 5 mana turn 3 Elsha. So turn 4, I decided to swing at. I didn't roll a dice. Everyone was open. I had the only creature. I decided to swing at Trevor. I didn't roll a dice or anything.
No, he's just I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what started our little bit back and forth. Mm-hmm. Because then I had Savine out, and he ended up, he stole. Oh, no, I think...
He stole Savine at one point, didn't he?
No, Elsha got targeted removed.
Right.
Because people didn't like that card, and I was sad because I didn't look at the top of my library anymore.
I was fine with it, honestly. I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting there with 3 lands.
Yeah. I had a backdraft Hellkite and Savine out, and Trevor was really mad at what I was doing, so he stole my backdraft Hellkite. I only had Savine, and then played the enchantment that made us all sack a creature.
Right. Yeah.
And so I lost my commander.
I don't even know if I had anything on the board at that point.
I don't think you did.
No, I don't think so. I was like, this is fine. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
But a lot more interactive, especially compared to C18 with having Planeswalker commanders.
Yeah, just all that damage doesn't go face.
Yeah, it goes to the
thing.
Planeswalker.
So the game takes longer.
Way longer.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think they're really fun to play against each other. I think they're probably fun out in the wild, and I don't think you'd have to tweak them too much to really make each deck hum.
Yeah, totally. One other thing I wanted to say, it was getting down to the nitty gritty between me and Kevin.
Yeah, because we were the only ones left in the game.
Yeah, and there was a card we were talking about before that I think both of us are kind of like meh on this card. But Thalia's Geist Caller ended up doing a lot of work for me.
It did.
Yeah.
It really did.
So I was casting spells out of the graveyard, making a token, and then Kevin would attack me, and I could block a token with the Geist Caller, and then block another of his tokens with my Spirit token, and then I sack my Spirit token to make the Geist Caller indestructible, kill one of his tokens, and I block 2 creatures. And I did that for a few turns.
Yeah, that was definitely a good life support system for you.
Yeah.
And does Thalia's Geist Caller have lifelink?
It does.
But as one of the
points things, which we'll probably talk about soon.
that we drafted, players couldn't gain life.
Yeah.
Or if you chose to.
You couldn't gain life for the game, but yeah.
We'll get into it.
But Thalia's Geist Caller, I have to say that card did work.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was wrong.
Yeah. It happens. We were wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We should definitely go back and do a year in review kind of thing, and things we were right about, things we were wrong about. Sort of reviewing our reviews. I think that could be fun.
Could be fun.
But if the listeners, if you're not interested in that, let us know and we won't do it.
Yeah.
So are there? So I guess I'd like to kind of talk a bit about the way in which we can upgrade our decks.
Yes.
So we have a whole point system, and we'll get into that closer to the end of the show. But we have a stipulation around how many cards you can put into your deck, and you also take the same amount of cards out, kind of thing, because it's Commander.
So we're going to be playing 10 rounds.
Yeah, we do 10 sessions.
10 sessions.
One game each.
Yeah.
And there's always a first, second, third, and fourth player in each of those games. So the overall points don't really matter until the very end. But if you come in first place, you can swap out 2 cards. Second place, 4 cards. Third place, 6 cards. And fourth place, 8 cards.
Mm-hmm.
For this time around, just to kind of give a little boost to the decks, we allowed each player to swap out an additional 5 cards. So it was like 7, 9, 11, and 13.
Yeah, just to get it off the ground a little bit, tweaking the deck.
And we do have an overall limitation of $50 USD. We use like MTG Stock's market price or average, whichever is lower.
Yeah.
And overall, there's no like, and you can roll over any value you don't use. You can't roll over slots though.
No, but if you save up, if you only use $25 worth, you can use that $25 later on.
Yeah, you could do 75 the next the next kind of rotation.
Yeah, because I'll be wanting a Snapcaster at some point. So.
Oh, you gotta get that snappy. But there's not gonna be any graveyards by that point because I'm gonna be like, rest in peace, scavenging grounds. I'd run Leyline of the Void if I could.
I'm gonna hate life.
Yeah, so like Eric came in first place, so he can swap out only 7 cards. It's based on points. It's not based on standing. So even though I was killed second to last, I came in third place, so I can swap out 11 cards. Another stipulation that we came up with, because there's, I think, an exorbitant amount of enter the battlefield tap lands.
Oh yeah.
In these decks, I think mine had 10, which is way too much. That's not quite a third of my. That's probably like almost 25% of my lands. So you can swap out any lands for basic lands if you just want to not deal with tap lands, which I don't. So the only land I'm actually leaving in my deck, tap land, is Crows and Verge. All the other ones are
all the
coming
ones
out.
are gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they suck. I know you like them. I know you like.
I like the bounce lands, but the other ones I'm not into. Yeah,
and that's totally fine.
I don't care about gaining a health. Get out of here.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
one health. Thanks.
No.
Yeah, so that's kind of how we can swap out cards. So have you thought about the 7 cards that you want to add? Maybe let's not do the cards we're going to add because Riley and Trevor could listen to this and like get us.
Yeah, right.
So
I don't think we should talk about that too much, but
we could talk about the cards that we're going to like the sort of. Maybe not the cards we're necessarily going to take out right now, but the cards that we're just like, these cards gotta go at some point, maybe really soon.
And after round 1, we can be like, hey, these are some key cards we added to the deck.
Yeah.
Later on.
For sure.
So we'll still touch on it later.
Yeah, we could do a retrospective.
Yeah.
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 So the cards that I'm planning on taking out of the deck immediately are Desolation Twin. I just don't like the mana cost. I think it's too much for what you're getting. I'm planning on also taking out Cliffside Rescuer. I just don't think it does enough. I think if I wanted this kind of effect, I would just run like Mother of Ruins or Giver of Ruins.
Yeah, totally.
It's just, if it wasn't Sacrifice, I think
it's
I could get there.
Use thing.
Yeah. So not that I'm going to put Mother of Ruins or Giver of Ruins in, but yeah, just not really doing what the deck is trying to do. Mm-hmm. Commander's Insignia, I think this card is bad. I don't even think it might be better. It's like we said in our set review, it's better in like Reese the Redeemed, but I still don't like it there. So just put this in your binder. This is going to be a binder card.
Cool.
Wayfaring Temple, which I didn't realize they had downgraded to uncommon, and then they upgraded it back to rare for C19. This card, I think it just gets progressively worse or not progressively worse, but it's like if you don't already have a big board, it's not doing anything for you.
Yeah.
And I just don't.
Yeah, like by itself, it's nothing. You need something to make it do something.
Yeah, it's got a nice ceiling, but the floor is it's way too low for me. Doomed Artisan, I think it just takes too long to get there with this card because you're making sculptures, but it's going to take after you've had this on the field for 5 turns, your sculptures are 5/5s. Like that's, I don't love that. And they can attack or block.
It's one of these cards that's, if you get it out early, sweet. It's going to be good.
And like you could populate the sculptures and increase the overall power toughness of them.
Yeah, but again, when we're into a game, you're like turn 11 or 12, you draw this, you're like,
you don't want to see that. And then you have to get rid of it too, so that the sculptures can survive and attack.
I'm not going to attack into you when you have that.
No, and there's no way to sacrifice in the deck inherently, right? That's also the problem with the eggs. Getting rid of Explore. I do like Explore in certain decks, but the issue I have with Explore is it's like a half a ramp spell, because if you don't have an additional land in your hand, you're just paying 2 mana to draw a card and hoping that you have the second land. So I don't really like it. I'd rather just have like a Nature's Lore or a Rampant Growth where you were actually getting the land onto the battlefield and kind of drawing that card.
There's just better there's better ramp cards. Like just use those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Voice of Many, which actually did draw me a couple of cards. I did play this.
It did a little bit. You're like, hey, Voice of Many.
It's like, hey. And then I cast Harmonize, and I was like, yes. So just, if Harmonize wasn't in the deck, I'd put it in the deck in Voice of Many's place, because it's just a worse Harmonize.
Yeah.
And Scare Tiller, I think this is a cool card, and the reason we're not like reading every single card is because we just went over a bunch of these. So, just, give me a break.
We're trying to keep the episode a little shorter.
Yeah, so Scare Tiller, I think it's a really cool card, but there's just not a lot of ways to tap Scare Tiller in the deck without just attacking with him. So, or it, I don't want to assume. Anyways, cool card, but it's got to go. Angel of Sanctions is the next one. This one, I'm going to read this one because just to refresh my memory. It's 3 and 2 white for a 3/4 angel with flying. When Angel of Sanctions enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Angel of Sanctions leaves the battlefield. And Angel of Sanctions also has Embalm for 5 and a white. Exile this card from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a white zombie angel with no mana cost. Embalm only is a sorcery. So I think Embalm is a really cool mechanic.
It is, yeah.
But I'm not and have never been a fan of removal spells that are only effective as long as there's a permanent on the battlefield, like what is it, like Banisher Priest, or I'm drawing a blank here. Ring of Oblivion Ring. Yeah, because it's just, it can get removed and then the thing comes back, and if it has an ETB, they're getting more value off of it. So I just don't like it. Oh, Tectonic Hellion. This has got to go.
When you cast that card too, I was like, this is on the battlefield.
So it's 5 and 2. Actually, I discarded it and then I got it back with Feldon.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Trevor's like, you can, because he got hit with it. He has the Rakdos deck had the most lands.
Funny enough.
Yeah, and he got hit, and he's like, you can just do that every turn. And I was like, well, yeah, but it's sort of, once I'm the one with the most lands, I'm going to stop doing it. But I guess that's not really, that's not going to relax him about that.
Not at all.
Yeah, this card, it's too expensive for what it does, and
then at some point, it's just not going to be good.
Yeah. And if you have 7 lands, like how many lands do your opponents have? I just think it'd be better if it was a lower mana cost to sort of, because what you're doing is evening the playing field.
Exactly.
Right? But if you have 7, I'd just rather cast other things for 7 mana.
There's way better cards for 7 mana.
It's nice that it has haste, but
sure,
Feldon already gives them haste. So
sure, yeah, like
for 3 mana, it's good. For like a 3 mana token with Feldon, it's good. But
maybe what if this card's stats were less?
Oh, of course. If it was,
and then it still had that ability.
Yeah, if it was like 1 and 2 red or 2 and a red, and it was like a 1-2 or something, that'd be totally, well, it'd be better.
Yeah, because like obviously with this way, like it may not die, but still giving this 5 toughness. If you're going to attack somebody, they're going to block it because they don't want this to keep going off anyways. Mm-hmm. So you're like killing one of their creatures and end their lands. So I just like, this card is, maybe if it was 5/8, it'd be a little bit better if you're really going to attack lands,
Yeah.
Because you want to keep attacking with it.
At least they gave it, like silver lining here, at least they gave it an attack trigger as opposed to a combat damage trigger.
Yeah.
Because like that would just be like... Whew, that'd be rough.
Throw it in the garbage.
Not even a binder card. Yeah, get rid of it. And I think the last card here that I'm taking out, at least this time around, apart from all the tap lands, which I'm not going to go over each one, is Trostani's Judgment. it's too expensive. The mana. I would rather run like a path and not populate. I know it's a token deck, but it's 6 mana. I'm leaving up 6 mana.
6 mana.
I'm leaving up 6 mana to exile something. And I mean, I understand that, I could use this and then populate a token and like double block something with, a token that I have in the new token, but it's just like, it's 6 mana.
Yeah, man.
So just too much. But apart from those cards and probably only a few others, I think after this, it's going to be difficult. It's going to start to become difficult to make cuts because I think the decks out of the box are so synergistic.
They really are. So they did a really good job with these decks, I feel, this time.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Eric, do you have any ideas for cards that you just immediately want to cut?
Oh, I definitely do. So yeah, I get way less.
You do
choices.
Yeah, almost half as much as the as like Trevor gets. Is Trevor? Yeah. Well, we have the board right here. We have Eric with 11 points. Me, which it's in alphabetical order. Me with 3 points. Riley with 4 points, and Trevor with 2 points. Yeah. So obviously Eric is the arch enemy now, and we have to take him down.
But yeah, so some of the ones right off the bat, there's the Pristine Angel. It's just like it has protection, and then you cast a spell, you get to untap it, and it's a 4/4 for 6. It's just not good value.
Oh yeah. No, I don't like it.
There's just better cards out there.
And it's not really doing, I mean, it does have the spell synergy, but beyond that, it's not really doing what your deck is trying to do.
No, and like a 4/4, like I don't care.
Yeah, that's not.
I want some bigger, powerful creatures.
Yeah, or like a spell that creates X tokens.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. And then again, there's the Pristine Skywise, which is a dragon, which is a 6/4 for 6. Again, you cast a spell to untap it, and it gains protection from your choice. So both these Pristine cards, I just think aren't.
I guess so. Like like blockers, right?
I guess
because
so.
Like the deck, it's not very creature heavy, and it also doesn't have a ton. I mean, I know you had a good early game, but I think normally the deck doesn't have the best early game and can't defend itself very well. So
but these are also 6 drops.
Right, but having this ability late game when your life total's taken a few hits and you can give them protection and block and sort of stabilize that way. Maybe that's what they were thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
I still think you should take them out of the deck.
Yeah, there's going to be better stuff you can
put in.
Yeah. Extra 2 mana, you got yourself a Indestructible Angel.
Oh, isn't it Pristine something?
No. Avacyn.
Oh yeah, Avacyn Angel of Hope.
I'll pay an extra 2 mana and get Avacyn.
All your stuff is indestructible? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, board wipe.
Yeah, I don't care. My deck also has the Cliffside Rescuer. I'm in the same boat as you. There's better stuff.
I think it's such a cool card.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a way to constantly recur it,
it's not good.
It's not good.
No.
It is a very powerful effect, but you need to be able to reuse it.
So Mother of Runes, Giver of Runes. So if you guys have these decks, pick up one of those and swap.
Yeah, if you want that effect.
Yeah, if you want that effect. Those are just better than Cliffside. And there are 1-drop instead of a 2-drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, the Cliffside has Vigilance. You could attack and then use it, but it's 2 damage. I don't know that's... I don't know. I don't know why I'm being so nice today with these decks. I think it's just because I had such a good time.
We did have such a good time, yeah. And then, Scare Tiller, same.
Yeah, cool card, but just I don't think it belongs in these decks, and even in any of these decks, honestly.
Yeah. And then next up, moving in away from creatures, we talked about this card just being bad. It's called Mass Diminish. So it was the 1 of anything in a blue for a sorcery. Until your next turn, creatures target player controls have base power and toughness 1/1. And you can flash it back for 4 mana.
If it was an instant,
right? If it was an instant.
it would be there.
Yeah.
But it's just, and the thing is, it's not a polymorph effect because it's just affecting their power toughness. If it was like polymorph is jest, that's a good card.
Yeah.
But it's or like sudden spoiling, like that is an
we go.
amazing
That
card.
card's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is just like
Why
it's
is
a
it
sorcery.
sorcery?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like it got messed up at the printer or something because a card like this should not be a sorcery.
Especially when you're in a deck that's slinging spells, you don't have very many creatures.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in your deck where you have trample creatures and stuff, you can first do this and then just swing in, right?
Oh, yeah.
But even as an instant, it's so much better to do as a combat trick
Mm-hmm.
instead of seeing what's coming.
Yeah, I do really like the art though on this card.
It is cool art.
It is fun.
We can give it to that.
Yeah, but yeah, it stinks.
Yeah. I have a couple reprints that I'm thinking, like Mystic Retrieval, which just return target instant sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand and then has flashback. It's 4 mana and then 3 mana. There's just better cards out there to get spells back from your graveyard. And I think this one's just a little bit too expensive.
Yeah, what is Pull from the Deep? What's the mana cost on that? Pull from the Deep is 2 and 2 blue for a return up to 1 target instant and up to 1 target sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and then exile Pull from the Deep. So it's kind of the same thing, but it's the same thing, but it's
That gets
more
you 2
restrictive.
spells, though.
But it's less mana for 2 spells. They
Yeah.
they have to be different spells.
Yeah.
This one you could get 2 of two of the same card type.
Yeah. But then
So-
it's also like we have like Past in Flames, which just all your cards have flashback.
Or that dragon that is a Past in Flames when you attack.
Yeah. The Backdraft Elka, which I do have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like cards like that are just better. And then I think I'm actually just going to take Faithless Looting out of the deck too.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Because I like it's kind of one of those things where it's like in the future, like I know Graveyard is probably gonna get some hate.
Yeah, I think you should switch to like an Elsha strategy just because and they mentioned this on the Command Zone podcast, the number of flashback cards in the deck out of the box is much lower than the number of non-creature, non-land cards in the deck. So you're getting more Elsha value even right out of the box.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to think about. And that's what he checks for is non-creature, non-land. It's like Narset, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have a little more fun with Savine, maybe a round or 2 more, I think, and then
Yeah,
it'll
I think you're fine. Like every card I'm putting into the deck is graveyard hate, so just think about that. No, I'm kidding.
oh my, just hate on my deck. I am the arch enemy.
Well, but like Trevor has graveyard at graveyard too. I think if it was just one player that was, because he can also do a reanimator thing. If
Yeah,
it was
so
just,
like,
if it was just one player with a graveyard deck, I'd be less inclined to do it.
but Trevor also has that stuff, so
Yeah, and for Riley's deck, you just play like humility, and that's fine. I'm gonna have fun.
yeah. Another one which I actually use, but there's just better cards, is Rolling Temblor. It's 2 of anything and a red. It deals 2 damage each creature without flying, and then it has flashback for 6 mana. So it's like a very weak board wipe. Just put Blasphemous Act in.
Oh, interesting.
Like, I
Yeah,
understand
no
they went
kidding.
for the flashback stuff, but
Yeah.
just like I'm gonna put Blasphemous Act in instead of this card. That's the swap out there.
And with all the tokens I'll be making, like you'll be casting it for 1 all the
Always,
time. Yeah.
always, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just like an obvious.
I should put Blasphemous Act in my deck.
It's a good card.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not. It is a good card, but it's like a creature. I'm gonna do like Hour of Reckoning comes in the deck, so like destroy all non-token creatures, or like Austere Command, where I can destroy creatures based on CMC.
Yeah,
So you see like anything above 3 CMC, all my tokens are 0, so they're safe.
Good to go.
All right. Well, do you have more about your deck?
I'll just say a couple more. There's Una's Grace, which is like 3 mana for draw 1 card and it has retrace.
That's bad.
Yeah. Just putting a better.
Just putting it better. It's too much to draw a card.
Too much to draw a card. And then, the last one I'll say is the. I really don't like this card. Desperate Ravings. So it's 1 of anything in a red to draw 2 cards, then discard a card at random. And has flashback. Ooh.
And the flashback is like 1 in a blue.
2 in a blue, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, the at random is...
That's the part
I don't like that. I'm not a gamble kind of guy.
No.
You know? Good card, but I don't run it.
I don't think
like gamble.
I don't think it's a good card.
Again, if it was instant speed, I might run it.
Okay.
But it's I just don't like those discard at random cards.
Yeah, because I mean you're gonna discard. There's that chance that you draw into something you want, and that's the card that you discard. Yeah,
it's just I can't handle even like that happening. I just can't handle the lead up. I can't handle the suspense.
Yeah.
So like if I'm going to see a scary movie, I'll like read the plot online first, just because I can't.
Yeah.
With the suspense, it's too much. Yeah, I can't even.
So I think like right off the bat, we definitely have a lot of cards that are easy to just axe out of the decks.
Completely cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just feel nothing. And as it always does, it gets harder as we move forward, and as the meta shifts and changes, and like maybe Riley will turn his deck into a graveyard deck, and we got to get him. You know, so
I mean, he's in Muldrotha colors, so
he could just start running Muldrotha as a secret commander. We don't even know.
Yeah,
we don't know what he's doing right now.
We don't.
All right, well, let's explain a little bit about how
the points work.
So we did something a little different this year. And our good friend Riley, he came up with, well, he derived a point system from something that the professor from Tolarian Community College on YouTube and Star City Games uses, or has used for their leagues. I'm pretty sure that's where it comes from. But the Commander League achievements are broken down into 3 categories. So first we have house achievements. Those are static achievements that apply to everyone every game. And then we have drafted achievements. Those are green, not like the color green in terms of gameplay. But those are achievements that are selected before each game from a large pool of options. And then the third one is cursed achievements. Those are black. Those are optional achievements selected randomly before each game. If chosen, they apply a static effect, like an emblem type effect, to a particular player in exchange for points.
Mm-hmm. So, like, first of all, with our house rules, for example, we have like kill a player, you get a point.
Win the game.
You get 3 points.
Win a game with an infinite combo. Gets -3 or 4 points.
-3.
Kill a player before the
turn 5.
Turn 5. You're losing points on that one too. I think it's like -1.
Yeah, and then you also lose 1 for playing a mana rock on turn 1.
Yeah, any mana rock. So,
any mana rock.
So if you bank that upgrade value for like 6 weeks, you can get yourself a mana crypt.
Ooh boy.
Oh yeah. And just lose all those points.
And then next up is our like the drafting.
The drafted achievements. That was really cool because
I enjoyed it.
We would roll. We rolled a dice to see who
turn
order to see who would like draft the achievements, and if you went last, you got to draft 3 achievements right off the bat, which is what happened to me. And then each other player got to draft 1.
So we had a total of 6 of those.
Mm-hmm. And then the cursed achievements, those were like, one of them was, so there was 3 of them, and if each player could choose to have them affect that player throughout the game, and if you chose them, you would get you'd bank a point. So one of them was like, you can't gain life,
and so everybody took that one,
and you can't
3 point.
Yeah, you can't search your deck.
No tutors.
I did take that one, but then I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna have to tutor for lands. Riley, don't.
Yeah, because all the decks have like even Terramorphic Expanse and Explosive.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And what was the last one? I don't remember.
Yeah, that one was a little bit of a
weird
one. Too.
Yeah, it was the art from that Mephistopheles card. I can't remember.
Yeah, shoot.
But anyways, we should have recorded like right after we did that, but What are you gonna do, right? So, we have a list of the house achievements.
So then, like, the cool part about the drafting ones is we have this big pool, and how we're doing it is that if we pick them, those achievements go into a separate pile where they're just going to be worth what the points they are. But any achievements that don't get picked, there's like 3 different tiers, and so if they don't get picked, they move up to bonus 1 point. If they don't get picked a second time in a row, bonus 2 points, and then bonus 3 points.
Right.
They cap at bonus 3 because obviously there's going to be some achievements we probably don't pick, but then it makes it for us like maybe we'll want to pick that one achievement because it's worth so much.
Exactly. Yeah. And what's kind of fun about it is that you can start to tailor your deck to get points.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just about winning games, which is, what we're trying to do is to have more interaction and, creating points or achievements that force interaction.
Exactly. So then there's like certain achievements where like controlling a permanent from each player and things like that. So there's like fun things like that. Of course, like, so for the ones that we picked, like there were 2 based on tokens. There's like creature types and then having like 10 or more tokens.
Right.
And then I ended up choosing the player who loses gets a bonus point.
Right. The player who's eliminated first.
Yeah, eliminated first.
And Riley and Trevor got to share that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gave bonus points to those guys because I picked that one and ended up winning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it definitely worked out. We're also using barter points. So each player starts each game with 3 barter points. These points can only be awarded to other players and do not count towards your personal point total. And use them wisely, my friend. So yeah, how do these?
We had an interaction. I think we used it properly.
Yes, I think that we did.
I wanted to make a giant Adaphage token,
right?
And then so I was like, if you don't block, I'll give you
that's right
a point.
Yes.
Yeah. So you let me just swing in. You took 7 damage, and I got to make a token. So I thought it was very beneficial.
Yeah, that was, and that's how these work. And then something that happened is that when Riley and Trevor were being killed, Trevor offered his barter points to Riley, and then Riley's like, "Okay, I guess I'll give you my barter points." And Eric and I were understandably like, "No." Because
so we'll
if you guys are going to do that, we'll just be at the same level, but we'll all just have more points.
Yeah.
So,
who cares?
Yeah, it's like, and if that's the case, I'm just going to kibosh this right now because I don't think that really makes a lot of sense.
So it's one of those things where we're like, all right, guys, let's use these properly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could we just? So that was fun. And we do have the references here that Riley used to create this system. And so we'll post this probably with the Instagram post for this episode. And I'll also take some photos of the really nice tokens that Riley made. Like Riley did a really nice setup.
He really went for it all in there. They're really cool.
They are really cool. And I was gonna say we have like a, I was not gonna reveal the special guest for our Throne of Eldraine set review in a couple of episodes, but just because we're talking about Riley so much, I feel like we got to let the people know we're gonna have Riley.
Is that a spoiler for a spoiler episode?
That's well. The episode's not necessarily a spoiler because like we're gonna do a set review.
Yeah, but we're doing a set review on spoiler cards, and it's a spoiler that we're letting you know Riley's there. Get it?
Yeah, I guess.
Ha.
Yeah.
Ha.
But they're not really spoiler cards though, right? Because
the set's done. It's fine.
I
failed a joke. Let's go.
Yeah, so yeah, Riley's going to be on for our 2-parter for Throne of Eldraine, which will be not next episode, but the episode after that, and so you'll get to meet Riley.
If you enjoyed our Modern Horizons set review where we had a guest, same thing this time, different guest.
Yeah, not to be confused with Rylan.
Yes. There's Rylan, and now we have Riley.
Yes, so don't they get mad? So no, I'm kidding. They don't get mad. But yeah, so we'll for those that are interested, you guys can check this out on Instagram and use the links to. We'll put those in the show notes so you can check all that out. And I think this is just this year. I mean, if this is sort of a trajectory that we can expect going forward with this league, I think it's just going to get better and better because like the decks are more synergistic. I love this point system.
Me too.
I think it's so fun that we can like draft the points and sort of not only can we tailor our deck to the points, we can tailor the points to our deck at the beginning of a game.
Yeah, and so like it definitely like it also makes it so like if somebody has played with like a lot of ways to get points, this way we don't have many things to watch out for while we're just playing our Commander game.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, which really slowed things down.
Mm-hmm. And then also because you're drafting with a pool like this, if we think of something that we can maybe add in, we can just add it to the pool of draftable point cards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And something that I also really like is the tiered system for upgrading our decks so that it makes it more difficult. So that my idea for doing it was that the player that would win disproportionately more than all the other players would kind of remedy that. Maybe.
Yeah. Because like before, we all had the same stipulation. So then, like,
which is just like $30.
Yeah. So you win, and then you can just make the same changes everyone else is doing and keep that lead.
And you could just be at parity with everyone else, and then once you have that lead, you just keep that lead. So hopefully Eric doesn't keep this lead.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is actually a really cool thing because then if you keep winning, your like deck isn't going to get as good. And then we still like to put a price cap on it because then it's not like everyone's throwing in mana drains and mana vaults and all that kind of stuff right away. Because
we do allow proxies or counterfeit cards or like just post-its if you want to do that. Or just permanent marker on the card.
On the card, yeah, sure.
That works too.
Yeah, go for it.
Whatever.
But yeah, no, it it just keeps things a little bit more level as well. So
yeah. Okay. Well. I think that's all we got for you guys this week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you again for listening, and we'll be back next week. What are we doing next week? Oh, yeah, we're just doing a whole news episode.
Yeah, first time.
So, there's been so much going on that we're just doing a full-on news episode.
We feel like we got a lot to talk about, so...
Yeah, there's a lot happening. As always, if you want to get in touch with us, ask us any questions, you can find us at turn1soulring@gmail.com, on Instagram at turn1soulring_the podcast, and you can follow me on Instagram at commandbeacon. We already talked about our giveaway at the top of the show, so you can, as usual, check that out on Instagram. And wherever you're listening to this, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. And what else do we say? I guess I should do my catchphrase, right?
I mean, we can just say good night to everybody.
Good night or good morning, whenever you're listening to this, or good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good evening. Good day to you. And go get them, Tigers.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and show me that ATV.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening. You guys are great.
Turn one soul ring.